Here's Dan Shapiro to help you find your edge, master your process, and own your future.
Hey guys, good morning everybody. Welcome to another edition of the AccessTrader.com nightly wrap-up show, or weekend update show, whatever the hell you want to call it, wrap-up show. It is Saturday. It is about 10:45. Hope everybody is doing well. Guys, take a moment out, click that like button, support the channel. Hopefully, I can point you in the right direction. So I've been trading since 1999, right? So for all you guys who know the significance of 1999, number one, the retail professional individual slash trader probably was trading from about 1995 to about 1999. That's the infancy stages of what everybody knows now as the point and click generation. You don't need a broker, you don't need the stockbroker, you don't need this and that. These are people trading. There was something called the SOS bandits. They were the small order execution system. They were one of the ones initially to try to get that fast edge of the equity markets. And as we all know, throughout the years, the market evolved, and we are all here and became very, very popular after the internet craze. That's the point. The internet craze was undescribable if you didn't trade during that era, right? The internet craze only lasted from like 99 to like the start of 2001. People think the internet craze lasted 10 years. It didn't. It lasted like 16, 17 months. Okay, now why is that notable? Well, people used to ask me all the time, well, Dan, what was the internet craze like? And I was like, listen, unless you traded through it, you couldn't understand the euphoria. I can't explain to you something without you having to kind of witness it firsthand. Guys, this is it, right? You're witnessing the internet craze. You are witnessing a very small sample size, but you are witnessing the stage of euphoria that I haven't seen since the dot-com era, right? And it's not a light statement. I've been doing this for 27 years. Some of you guys started during the COVID age, only 6 years ago, but in the COVID age in 2020, you guys saw the bull market run we had from 23 to 25, right? The 23 to 25. So you've experienced a good bull market, very, very aggressive, but there was nothing like the internet craze. And if you watched the video of me and Meyer Hoffman, you can go on YouTube and just kind of Google it. Or if you have watched it before, Meyer said something really, really important in that video. And that video was only 20 minutes, but he said something really, really important in that video. During the internet craze, because it was so euphoric, it didn't make a difference if you were in at the perfect price. The market made you right because of the euphoria. Of course, people are chasing because of the rose-colored glasses. It didn't make a difference what price you were buying in stock. The market was so hot, the price action made you right. That's kind of where we are right now. Just when you think that the market can't extend more, right? It doesn't even need a chance to breathe. Can't extend more. There's no possible way the market could go higher because it hasn't rested. The market has gone higher. And not only has gone higher, it's been a cycle that it's very, very rare to describe to somebody what's going on. Again, unless they're an active participant. And I'll give you a perfect example, right? So I haven't been chasing anything that was overextended. I've been chasing channels, very, very tight channels. Again, we've been kind of going through video after video. There's been some phenomenal moves over the last few weeks, but names like IREN coming out of tight channels and OKLO, a lot of these tight channel names have been going absolutely nuts, have been brilliant, just been absolutely brilliant moves. Again, you didn't need to chase the really high flying moves. The crazy part is the high flyers are still going crazy. It's absolutely insane. Look at ARM. I mean, this is just out of a cannon, right? Just out of a cannon. Micron, out of a cannon. Intel that lit the fuse on their earnings. And by the way, congratulations anybody who bought Intel during the internet craze. You're probably green by now, right? It only took 26 years. Anyway, so you're getting these crazy moves. SanDisk went to 1,000. But my point is, this is not normal, right? This is not normal. And I thought that, between 99 and 2000, at some point I was going to be retired by 25. I go, this is the greatest thing in the world. Does everybody know about this trading thing? This is phenomenal. How could people not know about this? And yada, 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 it ended, right? It ended, and I didn't make a penny from 2001 to 2003. That's the reality, because none of us knew how to trade. Anybody who started in 99 or 2000, they'll tell you we were all overnight momentum junkies. All we did was buy, 5, 6, 7 names that closed at the highs, and they would all gap 10, 15, 20%. Obviously, not every single day, but that's kind of what was the market. And that's literally what's happening right now. The big runners are still running. The crappy stocks are still running. Again, euphoria, right? We're talking about euphoria. You think in any other market, car would go from literally, car would go from what, $100 to 850 in a matter of a month? No, right? But just like everything else, and this is kind of my point, and this is kind of what we segue into, people didn't think that car was going to go down, right? Eventually knew, professional traders knew eventually it was going to implode because buyers are eventually going to get exhausted, and that's exactly what happened. But the people who are in the stock at 600, 700, 800 are talking about it's going to go to 1,000, it's going to go to 2,000, it's going to go to 3,000, yada, yada, yada. 2 days later, the stock's at 200. Does that mean the market's going to crash? No, it doesn't mean the market's going to crash, but you have evidence, right? You have historical evidence that no matter how big the euphoria is, eventually it's going to end. Again, case in point, .com only lasted 16 months, guys. And for the next 2 years, I couldn't make $1 because I didn't know how to trade. I didn't have a process. I didn't have anything. All we were doing was buying heavy overnights, right? Heavy overnight gaps. And when that market stopped and when that euphoria died and then 9/11 came, it was over. Nobody knew how to trade because nobody knew any aspects besides the overnight forced gap market. And that's exactly what we're seeing here. So here's my advice to you, right? You could take my advice, leave my advice, doesn't make a difference. If you are in the midst of an incredible magic carpet ride, that's wonderful, right? I want you to enjoy this magic carpet ride. It's absolutely phenomenal. The Qs have gone from 555. They basically went up 110 points since the end of March. Guys, we're in April 25th, not even a month. We're up 100 points on the Qs in a month. Just think about that. So again, is it possible the Qs can extend all the way to this upper Bollinger Band to 680? Sure, that's the whole point. We don't know when it's going to end. But the most important part, and here's my advice to you, is eventually it will end. Okay, I don't want it to. Okay, I do not want it to. I'll give you a perfect example how unnormal this is. Usually, you're going to get your biggest moves right at the open, that first hour, first 90 minutes. On Friday, just to give you an example how insane this market is, I caught a 25-point move on SanDisk in the middle of the morning. Okay, then we caught a 7-point move on Meta in the middle of the morning. Nvidia went out of its freaking mind, right? Again, out of its freaking mind randomly during a dead zone, right? Here was a dead zone. Okay, this was a dead zone on Nvidia right around 10:30, 11 o'clock, the start of the dead zone. It put up a $6 candle. Again, these are not normal, right? This is not supposed to happen. Like, I'm not supposed to get a $25 candle in 5 minutes on SanDisk, right? You're not supposed to get a $6, $7 candle on Meta, right? On Meta in the middle of the day, bro. Guys, this in the middle of the day. So it's an extraordinary market. The closest thing that we've seen to the .com era. Enjoy this now. Here is my advice to you, right? You can take my advice or leave my advice, but this is my advice to you. It's unsolicited advice, but I'm going to share it with you anyway, okay? What you want to do is you want to remove the rose-colored glasses. If you have runners in positions, that's fine, okay? If you bought a stock at 100 and now it's 170 in a matter of 3 weeks, get down to a runner, right? Get down to a runner. Use the previous day's low as your max pain. Keep on trailing it, right? The market, as long as the market's putting in higher lows and your stock is putting in higher lows, you're fine. As long as the stock doesn't take out a previous day's low, you're good. So if you have a runner in a name or 5 names or 7 names, the cheat code to protecting your capital and closing your euphoric run is as long as it doesn't take out the previous day's lows. So what you should do is at the open, right? At the open of every single day, if we continue to gap, just automatically put a stop at the previous day's low. Okay, what that's going to guarantee is if the market eventually does run out of buyers and they become tired and we eventually pull, because we will, because again, every chart scenario, every interval ends the same way. at least you will be approximately 85 to 90% locked in at your highs for this current run. If you don't do it and you're sitting there watching day after day after day, the market taking out a previous day's low and then the market taking out another previous day's low, I promise you, because it's happened to everybody, and you guys know I'm right, eventually what's going to happen if you don't use the previous day's low to trail your runners, okay, what's going to wind up happening, you're going to give back half of what you've made in 3 days. If you completely ignore everything, you might literally give back everything in a matter of months. So again, if you've never taken any piece of advice from me, okay, heed this one, okay, heed this one. I'm pretty good at this. I'm okay, allegedly, right? I'm okay with this, right? I kind of know what I'm doing. I don't suck at this for what I hear, right? Just use the previous day's low, keep on trailing it every single day, and hopefully the market continues and we get more of a run into the summer. So where do we go from here, right? Where do we go from here? Again, I'm trying my best. I'm really trying my best to find the lowest hanging fruit, right? I'm going to share my lowest hanging fruit with you guys going into Monday's session. Hey, Meta's on the screen. Let's talk about Meta, right? So Meta, we had a great pivot. I caught a great pivot on Meta off this reclaim on Friday off the 5-day. Gave us a massive, massive candle in the middle of the day. This thing looks great. A buyer came in for the May 750s. Is that a Euphoria bet? Excuse me, a couple of buyers came in for the May 750. Is that a Euphoria bet? Your guess is as good as mine. It doesn't make a difference. You see how it got rejected on Friday, right? You see how it got rejected on Friday in the 200-day SMA? It's kind of a big deal, right? This is a pretty good setup here. If this thing can reclaim back the 200-day SMA on Meta, right? This thing's test back the April high. So Meta is definitely one I am watching. Look at TTD, right? Barron's had an article or a piece that it could be potentially next big short squeeze. All right, Barron's writer. Right? But they have a big audience, right? They have a big audience who reads Barron's. All right, sir, I'll play around. I'll F around and find out, right? Again, it's coming off a bottom. If TTD reclaims back the 50-day moving average, all right, I'll play along, right? Who knows? Maybe this will be the next short squeeze if enough people start to buy into this nonsense. But okay, I'll watch this thing on a 50-day reclaim. Bros, market's rigged, bro. This is the coffee company, right? Again, coming off a bottom. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. You have nearly 3 weeks worth of distribution. If Bros, which is a great symbol, can get back above the highs in April, this thing could wake up as well. So you kind of get the theme here, right? Galaxy, right? Galaxy. Look how tight. Right? Galaxy's in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-day consolidation. Monday will be day 7. Let's see if it can reclaim back the top of the channel. This thing has histories of running, right? To the downside. I'll give you 3 names that I like to the downside. Again, I'm looking for the low-hanging fruit. There's nothing lower than the low-hanging fruit of a company who missed their earnings. You want a cheat code? I've been talking about this cheat code for years. Guys, all you got to do is set an alert on whatever stock blew up on earnings, okay? And once it starts losing its earnings lows, it starts the next leg down. This is the poorest kept secret in trading and the highest probability play you'll ever going to find. It's a negative catalyst. The stock cannot rally, right? It's evading euphoria. So if the stock can't rally in euphoria, well, when the hell is it going to rally? Now, the question is, somebody's going to ask the questions in the comments. So I'm going to answer the question before you say, can you buy a stock earnings highs? Absolutely. In a euphoric market, you definitely want to buy a stock that got above its earnings highs. So let me give you guys 3 plays, right? 3 plays, maybe 4. I might even have 4 in case the market turns and there is a rug pull, or even there isn't a rug pull. But again, it's the low-hanging fruit. Tesla, right? Tesla had a crappy reaction to earnings, okay? Crappy reaction to earnings. And now it's building day 2 below the 50-day moving average. If Tesla can't reclaim back the 50-day moving average in the next couple of days, then hey, maybe it does. But if it doesn't and takes out earnings lows with both hands, both feet, and 3 of my vaginas to the downside. Look at NOW, right? NOW, again, got hit on earnings, right? If this thing doesn't rally in the next few days and takes out the earnings lows, see Tesla for comments. Look at IBM, right? Same thing. Earnings lows, guys. Just all you got to do is set an alert below earnings lows. you'll be all right, right? NOW, and the last one, Lulu. Broke my heart to see the symbol, but Lulu, right? Lulu, same play. Look at the range here on Lulu, right? Lulu is one earnings confirmation away from being absolutely dead in the water. So again, I know some of you guys are on your first major run. Congratulations, right? If you have a book, keep it going, keep the runners going. Again, what you want to do is protect your profit potential, right? You want to close as high as possible on your interval. Every morning, just set an alert and just set a sell stop on the previous day's low. And as long as your stock is putting in higher highs and higher lows, everything's all good in the hood, baby. Everything's all good in the hood. Guys, have a great night, everybody. God bless. Hope everybody's doing well, and I'll see you on the field come Monday. Take care, everybody.